McCormick Place Bird Sanctuary is right on the lakeshore, just south of Convention Center near Chicago, between the lakeshore and the highway, Lakeshore Drive. The major role of the stewards is to run stewardship workdays where volunteers will come and help us plant or weed or pick up garbage. Established about 6 years ago. It used to be lawn. Part of it is actually a green roof on top of a parking lot for the convention center, and part of it is on a lawn area. When they designed it, they tried to pick plants that wouldn't have deep tap roots that might interfere with the roof on the upper section. And it's being managed as a bird sanctuary, so there was more of an emphasis put on species that would attract birds and act as habitat for mostly migrating species. There was definitely an emphasis on native plants, especially for the grassy species or the herbaceous species. In some cases, there might be compromises between picking species that, for an area that wasn't a bird sanctuary, you might not choose these species because they might be considered a little bit weedy, or they might be non-native. But for a bird sanctuary, you make that compromise between emphasizing native biodiversity and getting bird habitat. On that day, we were planting little bluestem and cytosperma, and those are two native warm season grasses that do well in dry areas, and the green roof area, because there's only 18 inches of soil, it does tend to get dry later on in the year. What the goal was there was to fill in some bare patches of soil where no plants really took, to fill those in with grasses so that there wouldn't be bare grounds that some of the invasive species or weeds that we're dealing with would come in then into those empty patches. Throughout the sanctuary, we were planting about a dozen new wildflower species to just try to increase the diversity. There's really only a handful of species that have come to dominate, so we need to go back and give more species another chance to colonize now that the prairie is established. I'm Dr. Geoff Morris. I'm a researcher at University of Chicago. I work on the genetics of prairie grasses and biofuels, and I'm also the site steward at McCormick Place Bird Sanctuary and Canal Origin Parks for the Chicago Park District. Canal Origins Park is at the confluence of South Branch of the Chicago River with Bubbly Creek. In the late 1800s, early 1900s, it was in the middle of really intensive industrial area. It was near where all the slaughterhouses were, and they basically dumped all the waste, grease and waste, everything, right into Bubbly Creek. Recently, the Park District has got this land, and they've restored natural area, several acres. It was planted in a prairie mixture, and it's predominantly grass species and wildflowers now, with a few trees along the riverbank. It's never had a steward, so I'm trying to set up a stewardship group there. It's kind of a meeting point for a lot of different people from different backgrounds in Chicago now, this Canal Origins Park, because people actually go there for fishing. Working at parks in different areas of the city, you get to meet and talk to people from different neighborhoods, different backgrounds that you might not otherwise meet. And everybody's enjoying themselves when they're out at the park, so it's great.
Cats and rabbits would reside in fancy little houses and be dressed in shoes and hats and trousers. In a world of my own, all the flowers would have very extra special powers. They would sit and talk to me for hours when I'm lonely.